Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into the science and the art behind a flawless set of acrylic nails, and we're using the masterbook from the Louisville Beauty Academy as our guide.
Have you ever really thought about how that works? You've got this simple liquid and a powder, and somehow they turn into this strong, beautiful nail. It looks like magic, right? Well, it's not. It's actually some really cool chemistry. And it takes a ton of skill, precision, and, this is the big one, knowledge.
All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to start with the two most basic building blocks of any acrylic system.
Okay, first up, we've got something called a monomer. That's the technical name for the liquid part of the equation. Think of it as the catalyst. It's the thing that kicks the whole reaction off. And here's a super important tip from the get-go, a real non-negotiable. Monomer goes on the brush. It never, ever goes on the skin.
And then you have its partner, the polymer. This is the powder. Now, this powder isn't going to do anything by itself. It's just powder. It absolutely needs that monomer liquid to come into contact with it to start working its magic.
So when that liquid monomer touches that polymer powder, bam, a chemical reaction kicks off called polymerization. Fancy word, but all it really means is hardening. And here's what's so cool about it. It just does it on its own. It's a self-curing process. You don't need a UV light or an LED lamp like you do with gels. It just hardens right there in the air.
Now this all sounds pretty straightforward, right? But here's where things get really important. Safety is absolutely critical, because if you use these chemicals the wrong way, you can run into some serious problems.
Yeah, if your technique is off, a whole bunch of things can go wrong. For starters, if that liquid to powder mix isn't just right, the whole nail enhancement can just lift right off. No good. And we mentioned keeping it off the skin. Well, that's because it can cause some nasty irritation or even worse, develop into a full-blown allergy over time. And that's not even getting into bad filing or application, which can cause real lasting damage to the natural nail underneath. This stuff is no joke.
And that brings us to maybe the most important safety point of all. You have to know that not all monomers are the same. Not even close. The one you have to use is EMA. That's ethyl methylate. It's the one that's safe, it's legal, and it's what professionals use. On the other hand, you have MMA, methyl methylate. This stuff is dangerous, it's banned, and it has absolutely no place in a salon, ever. It's illegal for a very good reason.
Okay, so we've covered the chemistry and the safety. Now let's get into the fun part, the technique. Let's see how all this science actually turns into the art of a perfect nail.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with creating the perfect bead. You know what I'm talking about? That little ball of product that forms on the tip of your brush when you dip it in the liquid and then touch it to the powder. Getting that bead just right, that's step one. That's what the Academy calls the start of the magic.
And how do you get that perfect bead? It's all about the ratio, the balance of liquid to powder. If you pick up too much liquid, your bead is going to be runny and just slide all over the place. Not enough liquid, and it'll be dry, grainy, and impossible to work with. It's a delicate dance, and like the LBA says, balance is everything. Now, let's talk about strength. One of the most important parts of a strong acrylic nail is something called the apex. And I love how the source material puts it. It says you need to build the bridge.
So what is that bridge? Well, it's the apex. It's the highest point of the nail, and it's built up right over the stress area to give the nail its strength. It's what keeps it from breaking. If you don't build that apex correctly, that nail is just not going to last. It's going to be weak and prone to cracking.
Okay, so we've got the chemicals, the safety, the bead, the apex. How do we put it all together? How does this become a professional service that's not just beautiful, but safe and ready for a licensing exam?
Well, the Louisville Beauty Academy has a fantastic step-by-step process. It all starts with prep, and I mean meticulous prep. You sanitize, you shape the natural nail, you gently push back the cuticles. Then, to make sure that acrylic really sticks, you apply a dehydrator to get rid of any oils, followed by a light coat of primer. Then comes the main event, applying the acrylic. You pick up that medium bead and place it on the nail, building up that all-important apex and creating those smooth sidewalls. After it hardens, it's all about refinement, shaping, filing, and smoothing the whole surface until it's perfect. Then you buff it until it's super smooth and add a polish or top coat for that beautiful shine. And one final critical detail, cuticle oil comes last, always last. If you put it on any sooner, the oil will get on the nail plate and nothing will stick to it properly.
So look, getting all those technical steps down is obviously super important. But the Louisville Beauty Academy points out something else, that true success
True mastery also comes from having the right mindset.
And that mindset is all about, yes, I can. It's this powerful little phrase. It's about looking at the challenge and saying to yourself, yes, I can master acrylics. Yes, I can learn to work safely and protect my clients. And yes, I absolutely can pass my exam. It's about taking that belief in yourself and turning it into real, actual skill.
And I think this really sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. It's a journey, you know? It starts with that inner courage, that confidence to just say, yes, I can. And then, with a lot of hard work, practice, and knowledge, you get to the other side. You reach that amazing moment of achievement where you can finally say, I have done it.
Because in the end, the real goal isn't just to memorize a bunch of steps from a book. It's about achieving that level of professional mastery where the science truly becomes art. And that feeling, that confidence, it really all comes down to those three little words, I have done it.